How do I tell if it's recording? For some reason, the camera switched off from recording.
Did you put the camera button to actually start the recorder?
Yes, I did. It's recording now. I pushed it again.
Please be seated. And good morning. Welcome to the Law School graduation ceremonies for the class of 2016. So I have to tell you, this is my 26th law school commencement ceremony. And for the first 25, the question was always, how hot is it going to be today? Well, that's not our question. These graduation robes actually feel pretty good this morning. William & Mary Law School was founded 237 years ago in 1779. For our parents and friends who are here, let me say a word about our origins. It's a story familiar to our students, but not to many of you. Our law school was founded by the then governor of Virginia, Thomas Jefferson, in 1779. Now, in the winter of 1779-1780, the outcome of the American Revolution was very much in doubt, as a major British army was marching northward through the South, eventually to arrive in nearby Yorktown. The Continental Army had been seriously depleted, and George Washington was hunkered down that winter wondering what was the best way forward. But Governor Jefferson was an optimist. He thought that the Americans would defeat the British and win our independence. He also believed that if America was to succeed as an independent nation, we would need a cadre of individuals who would provide leadership to the new nation in our experiment in self-government. To that end, Governor Jefferson urged the College of William & Mary to establish a law school for the express purpose of training political leaders for the new nation. And an important condition for Jefferson was that our nation's leaders should be encouraged to exercise what at the time was referred to as public virtue, meaning placing the public good above narrow self-interest. Jefferson's vision here at William & Mary Law School succeeded beyond his wildest imagination, as William & Mary Law School in its first decade of existence trained students who would later become President of the United States, Secretary of State, Attorney General of the United States, Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, and many members of the United States Senate and Congress. The legacy of the Jeffersonian mission for our law school is today that we take pride in producing what we call citizen lawyers, attorneys who use their legal gifts for the greater good, sometimes in the political sphere, as in the 18th century, but in many other spheres of life now in the 21st century. This mission is written into our DNA. You will, over the course of this ceremony, hear this emphasis on our students using their legal talents for the greater good. It's not just idle chatter. It's central to who we are. Today is a time of great celebration as we salute the members of the graduating class of 2016. 26 foreign lawyers who have earned their LL.M degree in the American legal system, and 225 students who have earned the JD degree. Let us begin today's festivities with greetings from one of our JD graduates, the president of this year's Student Bar Association, Scott Kristeniak. Scott, if you will come forward and address your class.
Honorable Senator Kaine, Dean Douglas, esteemed faculty, friends, family, and fellow graduates of the class of 2016, welcome and thank you for being here this morning. Now, tradition, as set by former Student Bar Association presidents, instructs me to use the welcoming remarks to speak to the overwhelming success of the graduating class. It comes as no surprise that my predecessors chose this, of all topics, because the task as president is to say something that hopefully the entire graduating class would probably agree on. And at the very least, I think most of us would agree that our class in particular is pretty great. Our shared and individual achievements are illustrative of a graduating class that continually met or otherwise blew past expectations. And our class certainly exemplified the ideals set by Thomas Jefferson in envisioning the citizen lawyer. But I cannot go on reviewing our triumphs. As you likely already know and will continue to experience today, this entire weekend is devoted to such an endeavor. Instead, I wish to depart from tradition and use my time this morning to speak to an otherwise missing aspect of this weekend celebration. Although there may be brief remarks of thanks and appreciation, there's not one dedicated segment in any of the formal festivities to recognize those who also merit acknowledgement. Such recognition is owed not for completing a particular curriculum, not for achieving some measure of success. It is owed simply for providing unyielding love and support, because we certainly did not get here today alone. I wish only to use my time today to say a most sincere and heartfelt thank you, and I believe my fellow graduates would agree with offering such gratitude. So first, thank you to all of our moms, and our dads, our grandparents, or other guardians. To say we couldn't have done it without you is more than just the honest platitude, it is an undeniable fact. And for those of you in the crowd today, maybe, just maybe, this will finally be the last graduation you'll have to attend for us. Some of you could not be here with us today, and whether you can hear this message or not, we miss you and we thank you just the same. Thank you also to spouses, significant others, or other loved ones. While this weekend celebrates the best of law school experiences, it is likely that you have been there for us through the worst of them. Law school is not without its frustrations and its struggles, but because of your encouragement and reinforcement, we are here today. For that, thank you. Thank you to sisters and brothers and other close relatives. Perhaps our lawyerly aptitude for argumentation was the byproduct of a very, very distant history with you. So for that, thank you. And thank you for your love and patience as we plodded along this 3-year expedition. Of course, thank you to friends. For non-law school friends, the fact that you remain our friends despite the past 3 years is testament enough to your kindness and understanding. Thank you also to friends who occupy these seats up front here. No doubt, William and Mary Law School is a special place, and the lasting relationships formed here go well beyond simple commiseration. They are friendships for the ages. So thank you for joining along on this journey. The class of 2016 owes thanks to so many. I can only hope that this brief reflection will serve as one small gesture of our appreciation within a weekend where the focus falls solely on us. Please let our acknowledgments and success now and throughout our careers extol you for all you have done for us. I hope we have made and will continue to make you proud. And for every pat on the back, every hug, and every congratulations, we, the class of 2016, reply with our most humble and most sincere thank you.
Scott, thank you very much for those wonderful words. It's a great reminder of we don't get here alone and graduate from law school alone. So thank you for all the support of the folks here today with us. I would now like to invite one of our graduating LL.M students, Shaji Hanfi, to come forward to address this gathering. Shaji is from Karachi, Pakistan, and he earned his first law degree from the University of London International. Shaji, please come forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, graduating students, faculty, friends, my family, good morning. My name is Shaji Hanfi, and I welcome you all here at the College of William and Mary, one of the oldest and most prestigious law schools in the U.S. First of all, I would like to thank God for giving me this opportunity to speak for my graduating class and to be on stage with these highly prestigious individuals. It's an honor to represent my class here on this important day of my life. I would like to thank the entire law school, my professors, without whom this degree would not have been possible, the dean for leading such a brilliant law school, and my family who believed in me, and lastly, my country, Pakistan, without which I wouldn't have been standing here and representing it. It really has been a journey, or rather, a battle of the nerves between the law students and those thick books which we used to carry all day on. But it would be wrong to say that we learned only what was in those books. No, never. It's a new experiment you do every day. It's the way how you frame your mind every day. Learning from the past and practicing in the present, which makes you who you are. We are citizen lawyers. We are leaders, politicians, scholars, professors, and future judges. We contribute to the society every day, every second. We LL.Ms are students ranging from different parts of the globe, from Asia to Europe to Far East. All those people contribute to the law school and its community. We LL.Ms bring diversity and bring with us knowledge of our legal systems, only to learn more. We bring our culture, views and opinions, which blends in with the knowledge we get from here only to become global lawyers and to be part of this growing global legal fraternity. From doing class presentations to scholar meetings, this experience has been truly rewarding. We were here to learn the American legal system, but little did I know that leaving today, I have learned many. We are from Italy, Poland, India, Russia, China, Malaysia, Thailand, Algeria, and Pakistan. It will be wrong of me and my class not to give thanks to the JD class and community for accepting us as learners and helping us settle in. Words cannot describe how helpful they have been to us. From various societies to individual mentoring, they have been very kind. I was fortunate enough to be the LL.M representative of the Student Bar Association. This was one of the most significant experiences where I got involved in the student body and got to know about the day-to-day issues of the law school. It helped me develop as a student and hopefully in future as a leader. It is also through this platform where we LL.Ms were able to express our views with the law school community. A 3-minute speech is not enough to express the experience we all had during the whole year. I leave the stage with memories we can only cherish. I leave the stage with knowledge I never had. I leave my friends and my professors that have written one of the most important chapters of my life. Looking at them, one can only praise their intellect, and it's with this regret of leaving them, but good future, we graduate. I congratulate you all and wish you all the highest of success. Class of 2016, this is your day. Enjoy, celebrate. Congratulations, you have done it. Thank you all. Thank you, God. May God bless you all.
Thank you, Shaji, for those wonderful words. Each year, the graduating class of the law school expresses its support for the law school through a class gift fundraising effort for the purpose of enhancing the educational experience for future generations of William & Mary Law students. 3 members of the graduating class, Allison Davis, Lenny Simmons, and Brett Tinsfeld, led the class gift effort this year. They enjoyed some extraordinary results, and Allison, Lenny, and Brett, please come forward and talk to the community about your success.
On our first day of orientation at William and Mary Law, we learned that our school's ethos is grounded in the concept of the citizen lawyer. Lawyers who not only excel in practice, but also contribute to their communities, states, and country. The class gift is one of the many opportunities that each year's 3L class has to give back, in this case, to the school that provided us with the knowledge and skills we'll use throughout our careers. This year, 93% of the graduating 3L class participated in the class gift, raising a total of $10,893.
The class gift is a fitting way to end our time at law school because it gives us the opportunity to reflect on what made our time here meaningful. That meaning comes not only from our time in the classroom, but from what we have done and decided to bring to the legal profession. Many of our students have donated to the scholarship fund to ensure that legal education remains available to everyone, regardless of financial status. Others supported our clinical programs so that we can continue to provide assistance to the community. Regardless of what students chose to support through their gift, our class has united in leaving a lasting legacy for the students who will follow in our footsteps.
The class of 2014 was particularly ambitious, setting a record of 90%. That feat stood only a single year as the class of 2015 set a new record with an impressive 92%. When Allison, Wendy, and I sat down at the beginning of this semester to plan a path to 93 or better, we realized that this was going to be the largest graduating class from William and Mary Law School, which, as you've heard, is the oldest law school. And as somebody who's almost a lawyer, I can tell you the logic stands. This was going to be the hardest thing ever. We would need a large and dedicated class gift committee, and many people volunteered to help us out. In addition, of course, to the generosity of our classmates, this record would not be possible without them, and at this time we'd like to recognize them. When we read your name, please stand, and we'd ask our family and friends to hold their applause until the end.
Nasser Borden, Katie Ashley, Devin Bates, Erica Beacom, Mike Collette, Mark Kramer, Andrew DeVore, Angela Diaz, Evan Feely,
Garrett G., Phil Jamona, Trace Hall, Kelly Johnson, Kendall Kemelek, Scott Christiniak, Tommy Lugish, Georgia McLean, Carrie Miller,
Tyler Murray, Peter Rector, Tyler Rose, Shaina Selman, Lindsay Sfikis, Parisa Tabassian, Zeke Van Kuren, and Lauren Zich.
We'd like to thank all of the class gift co-chairs for their hard work toward our goal, as well as the more than 210 members of the class of 2016 who gave and pledged. Give yourselves a round of applause and go Tribe.
Well, thank you to the class of 2016. That really is an extraordinary result. It is, I will tell you, I've already been hearing from last year's class whose record you broke. They're kind of bummed out, but they're congratulating you nevertheless. For friends and family in the audience, I will tell you a 93% participation rate in a class gift effort is absolutely unbelievable. My guess is it's probably the highest of any law school in the United States. So our class did a marvelous job. We come now to the presentation of awards. The law school confers many awards every year at the close of the academic year, and we experienced the pleasure of conferring most of those awards yesterday at our award ceremony. This morning, we will focus on just a few additional awards. We begin with our Citizen Lawyer Awards. As mentioned, the original mission of this law school was to train citizen lawyers. That is to say, lawyers who would be skilled not only as practitioners in the law, but who would be engaged citizens serving the greater good. These Citizen Lawyer Awards recognize those who have been particularly effective at promoting this ideal. Each year we recognize 2 of our alumni with the Citizen Lawyer Award, and these were selected and chosen by the William & Mary Law School Alumni Association. First, the Taylor Reevely Award, named for the former Dean of the Law School and now President of the College of William & Mary. The Reevely Award is conferred on a person who has graduated from our law school within the past 10 years and who has engaged in extensive public service since graduation. This year's winner of the Reevely Award is Mary Ann Nolan Chong, a member of the William & Mary Law School class of 2007. Let me tell you a little bit about Mary Ann. She came to William & Mary with an interest in international affairs. Before law school, she had served in the Peace Corps in Ecuador. While in law school, she pursued her international interest, including work one summer for the Center for Human Rights and the Environment in Argentina. After graduation, Chong first worked for the International Bridges to Justice in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. As an International Bridges for Justice Fellow, she had the opportunity to provide legal support to indigent Cambodians. After returning to the United States, she took a position with the International Programs Division of the National Center for State Courts, working on the Kosovo Justice Support Program. She then joined East-West Management Institute, focused on implementing USAID's Strengthening Ecuadorian Justice Project. Currently, she is a Programs Operations Specialist with USAID's Office of U.S. Foreign Disaster Assistance and is responsible for leading and coordinating the U.S. government's response to disasters around the world. Mary Ann, if you will please come forward. Now we turn to the Citizen Lawyer Award, which is conveyed each year on one of our graduates from any graduating class of the law school. This is the highest honor that our law school confers on one of our graduates, and this year's winner is Judge Carla Archie, a member of the law school class of 1995. Judge Archie was deeply engaged with service when she was a law student here and has been a leader ever since. While in law school, Judge Archie was president of our Black Law Students Association. She was a member of the Moot Court Board and was elected to membership in the Order of the Barristers. At graduation, she received the George Wythe Award, which is the law school's highest honor for service to the law school, which is an award that we will confer again in just a few minutes. Judge Archie has had a rich experience in the law since she graduated more than 20 years ago. She's worked as a prosecutor in Charlotte, North Carolina. She served as general counsel for the North Carolina Education Lottery and as senior litigation counsel for Wells Fargo Bank. Last year, she was elected to be a Superior Court judge in Charlotte, North Carolina. Since graduating from law school, Judge Archie has been deeply involved in the civic life of her community of Charlotte. She's a past president of the Mecklenburg County Bar Association. She has served on the board of the Triangle Urban League. She has been a leader of the STARS Math and English Academy, which is a nonprofit in Charlotte that provides additional educational services for at-risk children. She was recently recognized for her civic and legal work, being named one of the 50 most influential women in Charlotte, and has been honored as the outstanding alumna of her alma mater, Hampton University. Judge Archie, we are pleased to honor you with this year's Citizen Lawyer Award and invite you to come forward and say a word or two. Thank you.
Good morning. I am a Christian. It is Sunday. The sun is shining. I am alive, and I am back in the Burg. What could be better than that? But I am especially grateful to be here this morning. Dean Douglas, thank you for those kind remarks to Senator Kaine and all of those assembled. You know, every morning I wake up and I simply ask God to use me, find ways to do more, to be more, to do better, and to be better. I don't do it for honor or recognition. It's simply in my DNA. And I try to use my natural gifts and abilities, as well as the lessons I learned here at William & Mary. And to those graduates who are graduating today, you are about to become part of a fine tradition. I am expecting you to be great. I am expecting you to use your natural gifts and abilities, not just in service to yourselves, but into service for others. Find ways to be great, great lawyers, great people, great husbands and wives, but most of all, great citizen lawyers. Thank you for this honor.
The core of any good law school is its faculty. And William & Mary Law School is blessed to have a faculty who excel both as teachers and as scholars. And because of the importance of the faculty to our work as a law school, I would like for every member of the faculty to stand and be recognized so that we can show our appreciation. If you'll stand. Each year, the third-year class identifies a professor whose teaching they especially admire. This faculty member receives the Walter L. Williams Teaching Award, named for a beloved former faculty member at the law school. Ashley Ike will present the 2016 Walter Williams Award. Ashley, if you'll come forward.
Hello. Dear guests, friends, family, faculty, and classmates, I am honored to present the Walter L. Williams Teaching Award on behalf of the 2016 class. As first-year students, it was common practice to research our professors, see what lauded institution they graduated from, marvel at their professional accomplishments, and sit in awe at their list of publications. But as I researched more and more professors, I began zeroing in on those who won the Walter L. Williams Teaching Award. With a faculty as warm and caring as ours, the award truly is a mark of excellence for those professors who go above and beyond the call of duty to encourage us as students, both professionally and personally. Walter L. Williams was known for his integrity, devotion, love, and service to mankind. With respect to his reputation, I believe that our class has chosen wisely. This year's recipient is one of the most considerate and impactful professors at William & Mary Law School. Her passion to her fields of study are only matched by her dedication to her students. In the classroom, she sponsors a congenial atmosphere built on respect and trust where students freely voice their opinions and their thoughts. She expertly mixes legal philosophy with practical realism to keep class discussions fresh and engaging. Never one to shy away from the tough questions, she pushes her students to think through the real-world problems that we will have to face in our post-grad lives. Her teaching does not end in the classroom. She is renowned for following up almost every single class with articles of interest and further reading, always focused on ensuring that students have the full picture for when they go into practice. As committed as she is to her students' academic success, she is just as committed to her students' personal well-being. By the end of the semester, she has learned not only every single student's name in her classroom, but has also learned what their interests, aspirations, and passions are. Her expertise in a myriad of subjects make her an advisor to many in the school, and and she goes out of her way to help students obtain summer jobs, explore their interests, or just to talk about their future. Her dedication to her students is unwavering, her door is always open, and she will always be there to help. Beyond her role as a professor, this year's recipient is also the co-director of the election law program, which she has tirelessly built into one of the best in the country. She has personally oversaw numerous successful student-run symposiums and has helped achieve grant funding for 2 different projects that she manages: the creation of the state election law e-bench books and Revive My Vote. I am truly honored to present this year's Walter L. Williams Teaching Award to my personal mentor, Professor Rebecca Green. My legal education from my first year as a student, and I could not feel more privileged to present this award to her now. Thank you, Professor Green, for everything that you do for your students.
Congratulations, Professor Green. That was terrific. This year, for the first time, we have a second Faculty Teaching Award to confer, the McLaughlin Faculty Teaching Award. This award was created by Jim and Fran McLaughlin. Jim McLaughlin graduated from our law school in 1965. Now, when Jim McLaughlin was a law student here, there was one particular member of the faculty who took a real interest in him and helped him develop not just as a lawyer, but as a person. And he always remembered the impact of that one particular faculty member and the impact he had on his life. And to that end, Jim McLaughlin wanted to create an endowment, a teaching award, that would honor one of the law school's truly great teachers each year, particularly faculty who show a strong dedication to the well-being of their students. The decision as to who to select this year as the inaugural McLaughlin Faculty Teaching Award recipient was difficult, as our faculty is filled with terrific teachers with deep concern for our students. But one person has stood out who will be the inaugural winner of the McLaughlin Teaching Award. This year's recipient has received extensive praise from both current students and our alumni for her skill as a teacher, for the way in which she challenges her students to see all sides of difficult legal questions, and for her willingness to go the extra mile for her students, by helping them to discern their career paths, by offering encouragement when encouragement is needed, and to help them see that it's always best to take the long view in law school when the hard times come. Remember why it is you sought to become a lawyer. Her enthusiasm for the law is palpable, and the law students flock to her classes in droves. I would like to invite the winner of this year's inaugural McLaughlin Faculty Teaching Award to come forward, Allison Larson. She thought she had to give it back. I'm not sure why. Yesterday, we recognized the accomplishments of many of our graduating students at the awards ceremony, but we have a few other special awards to confer today. Each year, the law school faculty selects the recipient of the Lawrence I. Anson Award, presenting this award to a member of the graduating class who shows strong evidence of great professional promise through scholarship, character, and leadership. This award honors Lawrence I. Anson, a former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Virginia, and it is the highest honor that the law school confers on a graduating student. The class of 2016 has many extraordinary students, and it was a difficult choice. But this year's winner of the Ianson Award, and I'm going to invite him to come forward, is Cameron Gimby. Cameron came to our law school from Indiana, where he graduated summa cum laude from Hanover College and was an all-conference baseball player. He has enjoyed tremendous academic success here at William & Mary. He graduates number one in his class with a GPA of 3.99. Cameron, my only question for you is, what went wrong? A 4.0, come on. At the end of every semester of law school, in fact, all 6 semesters, Cameron was either first in his class or tied for first in his class, so he's had an extraordinary success throughout his 3 years. While in law school, Cam was also a member of the William & Mary Law Review, serving as a notes editor, and following graduation, he will clerk for a judge on the United States Court of Appeals for the 7th Circuit in Indiana. Cameron, we salute your remarkable success as a law student, and we look forward to following your career with great interest. Congratulations. We now confer 2 awards on students that recognize outstanding service. The George Wythe Award is given each year to the student who has demonstrated outstanding and selfless service to the law school community. This, of course, is the award that Judge Archie received in 1995. Now, as most of you know, George Wythe was one of the most remarkable lawyers of the 18th century and William & Mary's first law professor in 1779. Members of the class of 2016 nominate their peers for the George Wythe Award, and the Dean's Office makes the selection. This year, the George Wythe Award for outstanding service to the law school goes to Michael Collette. Mike, if you'll come forward. Mike came to William & Mary as a graduate of the United States Naval Academy, and after graduation, he will continue his service to our nation as a Navy JAG officer. While in law school, Mike served with distinction as the Chief Justice of the Law School's Honor Council. He was active with our trial team, the Military Veterans Law Society, and our Polar Veterans Legal Clinic. One member of the graduating class had this to say about Mike. Mike truly exemplifies the best qualities of the citizen lawyer. His integrity, commitment, and devotion to the greater good are unsurpassed in the class of 2016. Another classmate wrote, "All who know and encounter Michael at the law school know that his character is steadfast, and he is complimented by his sense of humor, his kindness, and his spirit of giving." Mike, please accept our deep appreciation for your service to the law school. Thank you very much. The Thurgood Marshall Award, given annually by the William & Mary Law School Alumni Association, goes to a member of the law school community with a powerful commitment to public service outside of the law school. Many of our graduating students have demonstrated a profound commitment to public service, and there are probably a half a dozen students that could win this award. But there was tremendous enthusiasm for one particular student, this year's winner, Kaylee Gunn. As Kaylee comes forward, let me tell you a bit about her. time as a law student at William & Mary, Kaine has devoted almost 1,500 hours of pro bono service, much of which has been to military veterans and active duty personnel in Virginia. Gum, who is fluent in Arabic, has also provided legal services to the citizens of Iraq. During the summer of 2014, Kaine Gum worked in Iraq for USAID's Iraq Access to Justice project with the goal of providing legal services to ordinary Iraqis. As ISIS gained strength during the summer of 2014, Gum had to leave Baghdad, where she was working for safety reasons, but chose to stay in country and relocated to Erbil in northern Iraq so that she could continue her work before returning to the United States and to law school. While in law school, Gum was heavily involved with our Puller Veterans Benefits Clinic, representing injured veterans. Professor Patricia Roberts, the director of that clinic, wrote that Gum consistently impressed me with her skill, determination, and compassion with which she approached all of her clients. In the words of Professor Roberts, Gum is one of the most outstanding students that I have taught in my 15 years of teaching. Finally, Kaine Gum has already been recognized for her outstanding public service. She recently received the Virginia State Bar's 2016 Oliver Whitehill Law Student Pro Bono Award. This award, named for a distinguished civil rights litigator, recognizes the commitment of one law student at the state's 8 law schools for their outstanding pro bono work. Kaine Gum, thank you very much for your service. After she graduates, she's a lieutenant in the United States Air Force Reserve and will serve as a JAG officer in the United States Air Force after graduation. Kaine? Finally, we come to the John Marshall Award. This award, of course, is named for our most eminent student, the great Chief Justice John Marshall, and is given each year to a faculty member, an administrator, or a staff member who has demonstrated character, leadership, and a spirit of selfless service to the law school community. This year, we confer the John Marshall Award on one of the law school's unsung heroes, Cassie Fritzius. Cassie? I think she knew this was coming. I'm not sure. We tried to hide it from her. Cassie is one of those individuals who can fairly be described as the heart and soul of the law school. She is always looking for a way to help another person, often by simply providing a sympathetic ear. A breast cancer survivor, she regularly provides support to those who receive a breast cancer diagnosis. Cassie has also been a tireless fundraiser for breast cancer research. Cassie and her motorcycle club have raised tens of thousands of dollars for breast cancer research. Yes, she is. She will. If you want to know where Cassie is, look for a motorcycle coming down your way. She has also produced hundreds of quilts that have also provided support and fundraising for breast cancer research. Cassie, all of us at the law school are honored to call you our friend, and we are pleased to honor you with this year's John Marshall Award. It is now my great honor to introduce our graduation speaker. And let me say at the outset that it is our tradition here at William & Mary Law School that the graduation speaker is chosen by the students. They have made a brilliant choice this year, Senator Tim Kaine. As you know, as you've heard many times already, we prize the citizen lawyer ethic at William & Mary Law School. And to that end, Senator Tim Kaine is the perfect commencement speaker. Senator Kaine graduated from the University of Missouri before enrolling at Harvard Law School. Now, as a Harvard Law student, Senator Kaine shared with his Harvard classmates a brilliant mind and a record of academic success. But there were a couple of other things that perhaps distinguished him from his Harvard classmates. First, shared with some of his classmates, he had a particularly profound commitment to the value of service. Second, something he probably did not share with his Harvard classmates, he had skill as a law student as an iron worker, a skill he had learned in his father's ironworking shop as a teenager. So after his first year of law school, Senator Kaine combined those two interests and took a leave of absence. He moved to Honduras and became the principal of a school in Honduras for the purpose of training young Hondurans in metalworking and carpentry. It was a tremendous exercise of service. It was a school that had been established by a group of Jesuits years before. Senator Kaine then went back to Harvard. He graduated. He spent a year after graduation clerking for a judge on the United States Court of Appeals for 11th Circuit, and then moved to Richmond, where he practiced law. And for 17 years, he practiced law in Richmond with a particular focus on representing people who had been denied housing opportunities because of their race or disability. And he has been widely recognized and was widely recognized for that work by local, state, and national organizations for his advocacy for fair housing. In 1994, at the age of 36, Senator Kaine ran for public office, winning a seat on the Richmond City Council. 4 years later, he became mayor of Richmond. Two of his primary initiatives as mayor included the improvement of public schools and crime reduction. And in fact, Richmond experienced a sharp reduction in crime during Kaine's tenure as mayor. In 2001, he won election as Lieutenant Governor of Virginia. In 2005, he was elected Governor of Virginia. And finally, in 2012, was elected to a seat in the United States Senate. Throughout his political life, from his service on the Richmond City Council to his service in the Senate, Senator Kaine has been known as someone who is interested in bringing people together from across lines of party or race or region. I should mention, too, that both in 2008 and now again in 2016, Senator Kaine is someone who is frequently mentioned as a possible candidate for the vice presidency. Senator Kaine, we are deeply honored that you have come to speak to us and offer remarks to the graduating class of 2016.
Thank you so much. Well, what a beautiful day. And before I start my comments, I just have to say, I can't believe you asked me to give a speech outdoors in Williamsburg. I have horrible luck giving speeches outdoors in Williamsburg. I was inaugurated in Williamsburg. The inaugurations of Virginia governors traditionally take place in Richmond because Jefferson moved the capital to Richmond from Williamsburg in 1780. But when I was inaugurated in January of 2006, the Virginia Capitol was undergoing renovation. So they brought the inauguration back to the colonial capital, and it was a cold and windy and rainy day. During my entire tenure as governor, every time I did an event in Williamsburg that was outdoors, it rained. I was about 3 years into my 4-year term, and somebody finally said to me, you know, Governor, anytime you do an outdoor event in Williamsburg, it rains as the wind starts to whip up. And the person said, we start to think of this as kind of Tim Kaine weather. And it's funny, I think of it as Williamsburg weather. But it's nice to break the tradition so far and be here with you on such a beautiful day. I'm sure the sun is shining on you because of your great accomplishments. I am honored to be asked to come and share with you today to celebrate this important day with the William and Mary Law School graduates, both JDs and LL.M, with faculty members, with family and friends. Of course, this reminds me of my 1983 law school graduation at Harvard, that young upstart law school that opened its doors 38 years after William and Mary commenced legal education in the United States. I remember my graduation day pretty well. It was a whirlwind of family, friends, and fun, all accomplished by a sense of gratitude, exhaustion, relief, and especially accomplishment. You all have not chosen an easy path, and you're going into new challenges ahead, preparing for the bar exam, possibly moving to a new town, starting into legal practice. So with hard work behind you and hard work to come, take this time to fully appreciate what you have accomplished. And your sense of accomplishment shouldn't be limited to your own personal achievement. Seeing the students and hearing what they've done has been pretty impressive sitting here on the stage. And as a class, you've already started to show why law is considered still a profession and not just a job. Yesterday, 72 of the graduates were recognized at an award ceremony for pro bono legal service during your time here at William & Mary. You've led Thanksgiving food basket drives. You've registered bone marrow donors. You've provided more than 17,000 hours of pro bono service through the Virginia Coastal Policy Center. You've established an innovative partnership with the Virginia Institute of Marine Science to better prepare our state for sea level rise. And you've staffed the nationally known Polar Clinic that helps veterans, active duty military, and families on the many legal issues they confront. This instinct that you've shown as a class to use your legal training to help others should be the foundation for the rest of your legal careers. You might imagine that with the Supreme Court vacancy and so many other legal issues swirling around, I was tempted to offer remarks today about legal issues confronting our country. But as I sat down to write these comments and think about you, my thoughts kept moving back from the issues of the day to the time when I was just like you, starting out on an exciting, new, and uncertain path to practice law. After a one-year federal judicial clerkship, I took the Virginia bar exam, moved to a new city and a new state, got married, and started my legal career, all in the space of 4 months. I imagine some of you are going to be undergoing those same transitions in short order. It was a time of huge transition. And despite all my undergraduate and legal education, I still had so much to learn, and so do you. Much of your learning will come at the hands of the lawyers and judges that you work with in the starting phase of your legal career. Working with people you care about and people who care about you will be one of the most important factors in whether you enjoy this great profession. And I could do a whole speech about what I learned from lawyers I practiced with during my 18 years of active law practice. But instead, what I want to talk to you about is what I learned from my very first clients. I had hundreds of clients over the course of my career. Individuals, companies, local governments, nonprofit organizations. But you'll never forget your first clients. Those who come to you when you barely hung your law license on your office wall. And I had 3 very unique clients in my first year as a lawyer who taught me an awful lot. There was Lorraine, my first client. She was a young woman just my age who was referred to our firm by a local housing organization. In the same way that I had just moved to a new city, Richmond, and searched for an apartment to find a job, Lorraine had also come to Richmond to work and look for an apartment. She saw a newspaper ad for a place in a neighborhood she liked. She called and found that the apartment was vacant, and she made an appointment to go visit it on her lunch hour. When she showed up to visit the apartment, just 90 minutes later, she was told that the apartment had just been rented. She was sort of stunned. And when she went back to work, she thought maybe the fact that she was African American made the owner change his mind. So she got back to work and asked a Caucasian colleague to call later the same afternoon and ask about the apartment, and her friend was told by the owner that the apartment was still available. I drafted my first lawsuit for Lorraine, a federal fair housing action against the owner of the apartment.
And with the testimony of her co-worker, this case was a slam dunk win. We settled it shortly after the case was filed. And suddenly, having done one case, I was now the Virginia expert on the fair housing laws in 1980. That became the heart of my practice until I stepped down from my firm to become lieutenant governor in 2002. But what I remember from representing Lorraine was not so much the law. What I remember was that we were so similar, but we're also so different. We were both almost exactly the same age. We were both embarking on the first days of our professional lives. And part of that is finding a place to live in a new city. But her experience was a negative while mine was a positive. And as I listened to her, I understood a few things in a way that I'd never understood before. First, where you live, your home, is more than a physical thing. It's truly an extension of who you are. And if you're blocked from living where you want to live, it cuts to the very core of your person. And second, Lorraine's clear mistreatment because of her skin color made her anxious about what would happen the next time she looked for an apartment. I've gone through life experiencing many ups and downs, but I've never been burdened with the worry that people will treat me badly because of my skin color. Once you've experienced that in the way Lorraine had, it's hard to escape the memory, and maybe more importantly, it's really hard to shed the worry that it might happen again. I didn't know this as a 26-year-old lawyer, but Lorraine taught me that, and I've never forgotten it. A few months later, one of our senior lawyers brought James and Diane into my office. They were a just married couple. Diane had a mental disability and was living with a distant relative who was also her legal guardian. Diane married James against the guardian's wishes and had come to the firm because her guardian had filed suit to annul the marriage on the ground that she didn't have sufficient mental capacity to get married. And so I represented Diane in a lawsuit in order to preserve her marriage. It's hard to imagine that we would deprive somebody of the joys of marriage because of their mental condition, but that was what Diane's guardian was trying to do. So I fought the case hard, and I was able to get the guardian's suit dismissed so that James and Diane could stay together. In the process of the case, I discovered the reason behind the guardian's objection to the marriage. She had been taking Diane's Social Security disability payment checks for years, and the wedding threatened her monthly income that she had come to depend upon. Ultimately, the U.S. Attorney's Office prosecuted the guardian for taking these funds from Diane. What started off as a domestic marriage case in the Richmond Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court ended up as a criminal trial against the guardian in federal court where I had to testify. I learned a lot from Diane. As a newly married guy, I learned a deep lesson about the sanctity of marriage and the foolishness of trying to keep two people apart who were in love. I learned about the awesome responsibility of what it is to have a law license. Whether Diane's marriage survived or not depended upon my work. And I also learned a very critical lesson that has served me well throughout my career as a lawyer and in life. Whatever the issue seems to be at first, you've got to look deeper. The marriage lawsuit, ostensibly filed to protect a mentally disabled person, was really the guardian's effort to continue the subjugation of Diane and the theft of her disability payments. Again and again in law and in life, the underlying reality is so different than the facial appearance, whether it's about a person or about a case or about a situation. You've got to look deeper, and representing Diane taught me that. My third client, and the last one I'm going to tell you about, is Rick. Rick was an inmate on Virginia's death row. He had been convicted of murder and sentenced to death. He had exhausted all of his direct appeals. He had a volunteer lawyer working on a habeas corpus case for him and a scheduled hearing in the Virginia Supreme Court a few weeks away. And suddenly, without warning or notice to Rick or anyone, the lawyer that was representing him moved to another state. So now he had a Supreme Court argument and no lawyer. And there was a frantic effort to find a new lawyer to volunteer to take the case. Somebody in Richmond knew that I was a lawyer and knew that I was against the death penalty. And so they called to see if I would assume Rick's representation. By this point, I'd had my license, I think, 5 months. And my quick review of the circumstances told me this case was a complete loser. I was very tempted to beg off on the ground that Rick was a bad person, or I was too new to the bar, or there were no issues in the case that were likely to succeed, or that taking the case might be really unpopular with my colleagues in my firm or others. But I kind of had a nagging feeling in my conscience too. Don't I believe that somebody facing capital punishment is entitled to legal counsel? When no lawyer in Boston would represent the English soldiers who fired on colonists during the Boston Massacre, John Adams stepped forward and volunteered to defend them on the ground that nobody should face death without the benefit of an attorney. If I'm opposed to the death penalty, shouldn't I have some obligation to act on it rather than just kind of state my position? I couldn't suppress those nagging questions even though I really didn't want to take the case, so I agreed to take it. I represented Rick for about 2.5 years until he was executed. It was exhausting work, and my initial feeling was correct. There were no legal issues that were ultimately going to get him a new sentencing or a new trial. He committed a horrible crime, and the laws of Virginia, whether I liked them or not, allowed a jury to impose the penalty of death. But I learned so much from working on this hopeless case. One day, about 4 months before the execution date, when I still had so many pleadings to file and court hearings to go to, but I also knew in my heart that they would be unsuccessful, I just ran into a mental block while sitting at the computer contemplating the next move on the chessboard. The knowledge that we would lose and that I would be sitting with the client on death row as he was prepared for his own execution just stopped me in my tracks, and I just couldn't for days do anything on this case. I had work to do, and it was life or death, but I just couldn't make myself face the reality of it. And as I was in that mood, a beautiful line from scriptures from 2 Corinthians, quote, "In my weaknesses, my strength," occurred to me, almost as if from out of the blue. I'd heard that verse preached many times before, but I'd never understood it. I never really felt that it applied to me. But as I was sitting there kind of grappling with this paralysis, I now did understand it. And I understood that you can't flee from your weaknesses. You've got to embrace and own them. And that's just a natural part of being human. I was afraid. I was afraid. And that was stopping me from acting. But somehow, once I admitted that to myself, it helped me jump back into my work and crank out all the pleadings and stand on my feet in front of state and federal courts right up to the very last day. And this is a lesson that I've come back to again and again throughout my life. Fleeing from your weaknesses or pretending you don't have them makes you weak. But acknowledging your weaknesses, which can be very hard to do in one of life's great mysteries, can make you strong. On the day that Rick was executed, I sat with a priest and a friend of his just outside his cell for hours to talk and to share his last meal so he wouldn't be alone. It was a very painful and very surreal experience. Let's face it, every human being has a natural instinct to avoid pain and painful situations. I didn't really want to be there, but I knew I was supposed to be there. If nothing else, I wanted my client to know that I had done all I could and that I'd never given up. He hadn't experienced that very much from people in his life. Years later, I became mayor of a city with too many homicides and too many violent crimes. And I had to go to crime scenes and funerals and support group meetings of families who had lost loved ones to violence. And then when I was governor, we suffered the worst shooting in the history of the United States when 32 beautiful students and faculty were murdered at Virginia Tech in April of 2007. And I entered into an immediate and intimate and long-lasting set of relationships with the family members whose loved ones had been killed or injured on that horrible day. These were painful experiences. But because of what I learned in representing Rick, that an important part of being fully human is just being able to accompany somebody even in painful and difficult times, I knew what I needed to do in those situations, and I was able to find the strength to do it. And I'm not sure I would have known how to do it had it not been for my client. Now, over the course of my 18 years in law practice, there were so many others. Family businesses fighting to survive, local governments working to solve constituent problems, regular folks who just wanted a fair shake in their dealings with their neighbors or their employers or their elected officials. Of course, most of the cases weren't so dramatic as the three I described, but I learned from everybody along the way, and that's what I want to say to you today. You have entered a profession that will give you a most unique vantage point in understanding people at their best and at their worst, at their times of greatest triumph and at their moments of greatest tragedy. During your careers, most of you will have clients who will place in your hands their most cherished concerns: family, freedom, financial well-being, livelihood, happiness. They will place those most cherished things in their life in your hands. One of your school's great students and great scholars, Justice John Marshall, noted this toward the end of his life. Quote, "The judicial department comes home in its effect to every man's fireside. It passes on his property, his reputation, his life, his all. That is a tremendous honor. That is a tremendous responsibility. Oftentimes, it is a tremendous burden. But that's what makes the profession of law so very, very special. And so I'll just ask you to remember that it is not just what you can do for your clients. My clients taught me lessons that I still reflect on today, long after I gave up law practice because of the demands of full-time public service. They changed me as a lawyer, they changed me as a person, and they will change you too. Good luck and Godspeed.
Thank you, Senator Kaine, for those wonderful words, and thank you for your service to the state of Virginia and to our nation. We now turn to the main event, the presentation of diplomas. We will begin with our students who have earned a Master of Law degree in the American legal system for foreign lawyers. Now, we created this program more than 20 years ago, and we did so because William & Mary is a university that has always turned its eyes to the larger world, and because of the recognition that our law students over the course of their careers will be engaged not just in this country but throughout the world in different ways. This year's LL.M students, this is what you get with a nice outdoor ceremony, but the breeze feels good. Thank you. This year's LL.M students came from throughout the world: Algeria, China, India, Italy, Malaysia, Pakistan, Poland, Russia, and Thailand. And we look forward to conferring degrees on them in just a few minutes. And then we will follow with the JD students. Now, some of you, some parents or friends are out there wondering, what can you do while this process is going on? What, in other words, are the rules of engagement? Is this a solemn ceremony where you have to sit quietly? Well, the answer to that is no. Within reason, you may do whatever you want to do. Anything from reverential silence to gasp of relief to boisterous applause is acceptable. This is a dignified occasion, but it is also a day of celebration. So we will begin by conferring the LL.M degrees.
Okay. Well, what a great morning for a graduation. It's my great pleasure this morning to announce the names of the recipients of the LL.M. degree in the American legal system for 2016. They are Iman Azeli, Matteo Capone, Xuan Chen, Beiti Sui, Wei Yu Dai, Tanyawut Dumarungrong, Shaji Hamid Hanfi, Bo Jua, Nguyen Jia, Yulia Kovragina, Li Teng, Chen Liang, Lei Liu, Xiaoxi Liu, Xiaoxi Ma, Vishnu Priya Molikumar Mehta, Agatha Shekot, Wenyu Ren, Elaine Sin Izu, Feng Wang, Ren Wang, Yanze Wang, Wenting Su, and Chao Zhao.
We now will confer degrees on our JD students.
It is my honor to present the graduates from the JD class of 2016. Nasser Abordin. James John Allred. Demetria Lynn Argyropoulos. Ambria Lee Armstrong. Catherine Lois Ashley. Kelsey Bach. Connor Jacob Bear. Devin Remick Bates. Erica Lee Beacom. Powell Dees Bean II. Stephen Mark Beatty. Kevin Gregory Bender. Elizabeth Louise Berry. Sarah Catherine Blackadar. Cameron Ann Bonney. Clark Jacob Bonney. Anthony Joseph Orzaro III. Cameron Foster. Lauren Marie Breidenbach. Jane Milady Britton. Graham Keith Bryant. Elizabeth Rena Booner. Caroline Alessandra Caldwell. Amanda Fern Campbell. Christopher John Caperso. Joseph Donald Castor. Caitlin Rose Chunet. Tyler Crisco. Bridget Michelle Claycomb. Brini Renee Coyner. Aaron Benjamin Colby. Lauren Elizabeth Coleman. Michael Douglas Collette. Susan Elizabeth Cook. Matthew Carl Cooper. Lacey Renee Kopach. Suzanne Emily Cordner. Brianna Cornelius. Anne Marie Cortez. Stephanie Elizabeth Cox. Mark Charles Kramer. Brian Harrison Cruikshank. Devin John Cummins. Bria Jenna Maria Cunningham. Andy Dye. Benjamin Ross Daly. William Prescott Daisley III. James R. Damon III. Elise Charlotte D'Andrea. Allison Christine Davis. Jacob Mackenzie Durr. Sarah Teresa Deitch. Andrew Donovan DeVore. Angela Rosario Diaz. Ashley Marie Height. Torin Matthew Elson. Evan Constantine Feely. Hannah Adele Fish. Eric Samuel Fleming. Lance Philip Fortney. Melissa Ann Fussell. Kata Fustos. Zhang Gao. Connor Reed Garska. Christopher James Geddes. Garrett Matthew G. Christopher Michael Generous. Philip Anthony Giamona. Cameron Dwayne Ginder. Rachel Hannah Ginsberg. Mason Gregory Gerard. Sarah Elizabeth Greenblum. Charles Elijah Henry Gully III. Kaylee Gum. Lindy Lee Gunderson. Sydney Marie Andrew Honpa. Courtney Elizabeth Hagee. Trace Harrison Patrick Hall. Rosemary Elizabeth Pambright. Amanda Renee Hebert. Alexandra Valentine Heilbronner. Christine Patricia Henry. Ross Patrick Hookstratton. Matthew Lewis Hubbard. Alexandra Elizabeth Humphreys. Caitlin Elizabeth Hutcherson. Matthew Gordon Jewett. Ashley Nicole Johnson. Joshua Michael Johnson. Kelly Elizabeth Johnson. Michelle C. Johnson. Kendall Kemelak. Matthew Clinton Kemelak. Nelson Wiley Kessler. Christopher Allen Kessler. Christopher Dean Kaine. Kimberly Marie Knight. Sarah Elizabeth Kolakowski. Jason Michael Kowalski. Scott Allen Christiniak. Joseph Martin Kurt. Elizabeth Amanda Larner. Erica Judith Larson. Melanie Minette Laser. William Edward Libby.
All right, now!
Sing Lin. Mark Jeffrey Listis. Caroline Lee Lockaby. Eric Martin Luce. Eduardo Luigi Lopez. Charles Carver Lockery. Amy Elizabeth Lowry. Thomas James Lucas III. Hongwei Ma. Georgia R. McLean. Kevin McWhorter. Young Mao. Eric Warren Marriott. Shayna Danielle Massey. Stephen Edward Matus. Charles Nixon Matthews. Julia Maitland McCormick. Caitlin Violet Dobbs McHugh. Christine Elena McMurray. Erin Ashley McNamara. Amy Lynn Myberg. Sarah Jo Merrill. Nathan Donald Michaud. Carrie Elizabeth Miller. Nathaniel David Moberly. Edward Ernest Moreland, Jr. Owen David Morris. John Nicholas Morosco. Tyler Robert Murray. Lydia Patricia Myers. Ross Daniel Natividad. Hannah Marie Needleman. Fumika Ogawa. Maeve Elizabeth Olney. Shayna Francine Oppenheim. Karen Louise Osborne. Lucas Pangle. Kalina Diane Parker. Krishna Patel. Ravi Paresh Patel. James Douglas Patterson. Seth Quint Parrots. Aaron Robert Petters. Megan Marie Phillips. Abigail Margaret Pierce. Justin Cabell Pierce. Emily Marie Michaela Hero. Kristen Michelle Poole. Xinwei Xian. Natalie Quilter. Elizabeth Mary Rademacher. Nathaniel Allen Ralston. Brian Edward Reagan. Peter James Rector, Jr. Joshua Samuel Rice.
Go, Josh!
India LaShawn Richardson. Abby Erin Riley. Tyler Jared Rosé. Tess Elizabeth Rowley. Thomas Paul Russell. Melissa Hope Ryan. Shaina Salmon. Keith Michael Salmeri. John Mark Sanders. Nikki Laura Sanford. W. Ryan Schuster. Michael Ian Stratford. Patrick Sebastian. Lindsay Carol Svikas. Catherine Elizabeth Sheldon. Leonard Daniel Simmons. Sean Cronin Smiley. Abigail Jane Snyder. Samantha Ariel Sokolov. Eric William Spear. Andrew David Stephenson. Lauren Renee Stocks Smith. Miriam Babette Rachel Strauss. Rachel Perot Strudel. Eric James Sutton. Carissa Tabassian. Brett Stephen Tensfeld. Justin Allen Thatch. Parker Reed Tobin. Mary Catherine Topic. Marley Rose Tristano.
Woo! Let's go, Marley!
Julie Leanne Talbert. Derek Vanden Abelen. Veronica Vanden Abelen. Philip Zeke Van Kuren. Stephanie Hélène Vanier. Alexander Viana. Krista Kate Wallace. Chu Wang. Benjamin Washler. Jennifer Lynn Watson. Candace Marie Waring. Hannah Kelly Whitaker. Lauren Olivia Wiggins. Sarah Beth Wiley. Amber Ray Will. Benjamin Jordan Willis. Christopher Kyle Wills.
Woo!
Stephanie Janina Wills. Jack Robert Wilson IV. Michael Lawrence Wyatt. Christopher Poole Yakovician. Urya Yang. Sarah Elizabeth York. Kathleen Rose Zaratsian. Darren Christopher Ziegler. Lauren Michelle Zich.
And let's have a round of applause for the class of 2016. Way to go, class of 2016. I want to take just a few minutes to add my congratulations. Go ahead and have a seat. Guys are very so respectful. The class of 2016 is an enormously talented and accomplished group of individuals who have already engaged their community, the state, the nation, and the world as citizen lawyers. With your law degree soon to be followed by your law license, you will enjoy a special status in American society. And in the spirit of our founders, Jefferson and Wythe, I encourage you to use your special status as lawyers well, in the service not just of yourselves, but of your communities. And if you do, I promise you, you will have a richer life. Now, you may remember that first day when we gathered in the Amphitheater for the opening ceremonies back in 2013. And I made some predictions for your class. And I want to repeat those predictions today. I believe that one member of the graduating class of 2016 will follow in the footsteps of Tim Kaine and someday serve as a governor or United States Senator. I do. Others of you will certainly serve in state legislatures. We've had many recent graduates already win election to state legislatures. Some of you will serve in the Foreign Service, as many of our recent graduates have done, or with distinction in the United States Armed Services as JAG officers. Some of you are going to be involved in legal reform efforts. You're going to use your legal talents to try to change the law and make it more just. A number of you will serve as prosecutors, while others will become defense lawyers. But as William & Mary graduates, you will always work for the cause of justice. Many of you are going to work outside the United States, trying to support principles of rule of law in other nations. Many of you are going to exercise leadership in private law firms. A number of you are going to private law firms, and eventually some of you will be managing partners. And on and on. I want you to remember, though, that this call to service and this call to leadership need not wait until you're 50 years old. Remember that Thomas Jefferson was 33 years old when he wrote the Declaration of Independence. that Martin Luther King was 26 years old when he led the Montgomery bus boycott. In whatever form it takes, I do believe that you will use the tools that you learned to fulfill the vision articulated by Jefferson and Wythe. So do use your talents well. But as you go forth, there's one final thought that I want to leave you with, that I like to leave with every graduating class. In 1776, Thomas Jefferson, in writing one of the most extraordinary documents in American history, the Declaration of Independence, reminded us that of the three inalienable rights that we all enjoy, in addition to life and liberty, is the pursuit of happiness. It's an interesting phrase, the pursuit of happiness. In Anglo-American law, the most common characterization of our core rights is life, liberty, and property. But Jefferson used a different phraseology in the Declaration of Independence. Now, by the pursuit of happiness, Jefferson did not simply mean an afternoon at a ball game or a gathering with friends, though I suspect he might have thought that would be a good thing. Rather, the 18th century phrase, the pursuit of happiness, is perhaps best translated in the 21st century as the pursuit of meaning. The pursuit of meaning. Jefferson claimed that we all have an inalienable right to pursue meaning in our lives. My hope for each one of you is that in both your personal and your professional lives, you will follow Jefferson's admonition to pursue meaning. First, I hope you will find meaning in your work as lawyers, and I promise you that if you spend some of your time as lawyers working for the greater good, that will bring you personal fulfillment. But I will tell you this, if your life is only lived in the law, then perhaps you may have missed Jefferson's call to pursue meaning. Before you came to law school, some of you were poets or musicians. Musicians? Some of you may have been magicians, but I don't know about that. You were active in your churches and synagogues and mosques. You explored the wonders of the outdoors. You cherished times with your friends and your family, celebrating the joyous occasions that life brings and offering consolation in times of sorrow. So don't lose sight of those parts of yourself as well. So go and fulfill the call of Jefferson to work for the greater good as citizen lawyers, but also fulfill Jefferson's call to pursue happiness. I wish each one of you well, but today is not farewell. 3 years ago, you joined the William and Mary family when you arrived on campus, and those ties will never be broken. All of us here at the law school, all of your faculty, will follow your careers with great interest. So stay in touch. Let us know how life unfolds for you. We wish you well. Congratulations, class of 2006. Now have come to the conclusion of our ceremonies, and I hope that all of you will join us back at the law school for a reception in honor of our new graduates. Student Bar Association President Scott Kristeniak led the class of 2016 into these ceremonies carrying the golden mace. We now pass the ceremonial mace on to next year's SBA President Spencer Anderson, symbolizing the transition from the class of 2016 to the class of 2017. Spencer, if you will come forward and secure the mace and lead us in recess from these ceremonies. Thank you all for being here.
Yeah, fine, thanks.